Welcome to the Virginia is for Laughers podcast, brought to you by X2 Comedy. If you're looking to get more out of your Shenandoah Valley experience, then this is the podcast for you. You'll meet interesting people, musicians, and comedians that perform here and find out more about what you can do and see. Whether you live here or plan to visit, listen to explore what makes our unique slice of heaven. Now here's your host, Don Davis Womack.
Hello, Laughers. I'm excited to introduce you to Donna Lewis, a comedian, sketch, and improv performer since 2016. She works at NASA by day and does comedy by night. She went to the Virginia Beach Funny Bone Comedy School and has opened for comedy legend Marsha Warfield. She placed first in the World Series of Comedy one-night event at Court Square Theater in June 2019. She's performed in various comedy clubs and festivals throughout the country and was recently seen at Big Pine Comedy Festival in San Diego and the Black Women in Comedy Festival in New York City. She teaches improv workshops at comedy festivals such as Memphis Urban Laughs Comedy Festival, and we're very delighted to bring her back to the Valley for some more comedy. Welcome to the show, Donna. It's great to have you on today.
Hello, and I'm happy to be there. Hello, everybody.
Laughers, we are in for a treat with this delightful woman. I absolutely love her. She is going to be coming to us all the way from the Virginia Beach area. In fact, she lives in Hampton. And Dawn, I would love for you to share with the Laughers. Were you born and raised in Hampton, Virginia?
No, I'm originally from New York City, uptown, baby, Harlem.
When did you come to Virginia then?
In 1987.
Okay. What brought you here?
My wonderful ex-husband.
Was he in the military? Is that what brought
Why
you
else
here?
would I leave Manhattan?
For love. What did you love about growing up in New York City in Manhattan?
Just everything, the food. Growing up in Harlem was very culturally rich, and it's a wonder I didn't find comedy when I was back home. But I left at 27. That was a long time ago. But yeah, I go back a lot to perform now. And so a lot of times I'll stay in an Airbnb in Harlem. It makes me feel like I'm back home again.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. What places have you been back home when you perform?
Clubs.
Yeah. Clubs up there.
The very first one I did was Dangerfields. They're closed now, but I've been in New York Comedy Club, West Side Comedy Club, Gotham, Broadway, a lot of them.
Oh, that's
Comic Strip Live, a lot of them.
Oh, that's
Comedy in Harlem.
Awesome.
A brand new club that opened up in Harlem that's Black owned a couple of years ago. Yeah, I was just there this past November. The Producers Club, some spots in Brooklyn. I'm all over.
When you think about the cultural experiences that you miss there, can you be more specific about some of those?
Well, growing up in Harlem, you're surrounded by Black culture. I am Black. Harlem is culturally rich from, the days of the Harlem Renaissance, the Apollo, the food, the plays, and the art. It's just so much stuff to do there.
Have you been to the Apollo?
Yeah, I was there, not to perform, but I was there this past November because some other comedian friends were in a show there because they do a comedy shows there now. They have a separate area in the Apollo that they do like music events and different kind of events, and they do comedy as well up there.
Oh, that's really great. Yeah, I've never been to the Apollo either yet. I'd love to do that. That sounds like a really great experience.
It is.
If you're making it at the Apollo, you're making it. I do see that on TV.
Yeah, if you can get past that audience, good for you.
You're definitely doing something. And now you're in Hampton and you are working for NASA by day.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I would love for you to share with the Laughers more about what you do for NASA and how long you have been there.
I am a configuration and data manager. It is a subdiscipline of systems engineering. So that makes me sound kind of smart.
Yes, I think so too.
Been there 23 years. So, I mean, the short description of configuration management is just say I'm a technical document jockey. Somebody has to keep track of all the paperwork and why it was changed and when it was changed and who changed it. And it has to match whatever is being built or researched.
Oh, so are you ever a part of when there's a launch or something and you see on TV, there's a bunch of NASA people there and they're watching in a big room to see how it's going? Have you ever been a part of those experiences?
Yeah, I was on a team called Storm a little while ago as their configuration manager, and went down to Kennedy because the instrument that was being built was actually a camera that was helping the shuttle dock to the space station. Anyway, I got all the way to Florida, got on the bus to go to Kennedy Space Center, and the launch was scrubbed.
Oh my goodness! Did you stay? I stayed in Florida. Yeah. Okay.
It's always something. But and then actually another team I'm on called Tempo. They're researching the radiation in the atmosphere. The team is building an instrument to go on a commercial rocket. And that particular instrument is going to measure radiation in a troposphere. That's why it starts with T. And anyway, I have been invited to the launch in Florida because that instrument is going on a ride. But I can't go because I'm booked somewhere else.
Bummer. This is how much go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, it's just I can't go to Florida and be back in Virginia the next day.
Yeah, I get that. And you had a technology term there about space that shows how much or how little, obviously, I know about space, but you called it troposphere? The
troposphere. I mean, it's the atmosphere, the exosphere. I mean, it's different levels as you get closer to space.
Oh, so that's still like within our globe of the Earth before you get past the outest.
Yeah, but when you look up, you're looking up in the atmosphere, but it gets some levels past that. And the troposphere is one of them.
Oh. We're getting science lessons today, Lappers. I did not even know that. Okay. What's the favorite part for you about working for NASA that you've liked over?
Well, I've been on some pretty big projects over the years, and just seeing what and I've been on some projects from the inception until it's put to bed, and it's just interesting to see how the thing that in its infancy, and to see something actually get completed and be either go on a test ride or be completed and put on a rocket or whatever it's supposed to do, till the end. I've been on some really big projects over the years.
Yeah. What's been the most interesting project you've ever been a part of?
Well, I was on one that did, that was dropping a capsule in water in a big pool. The test basically how to splash down. And I was on another one that was testing heat shields. Because when instruments have to come out of space, I mean, it's really, really hot. And so the materials they need to keep things from burning up when it comes back, from space. The one storm where they were making the docking camera. This one that I'm on right now, they're building an instrument to measure, radiation and pollutants in the air. So hopefully we can all breathe as time goes on.
Yeah. We definitely need to do that. Have you met and interacted with any of the astronauts over that 23 years?
One time, his last name was Bolden. He was an astronaut that became the NASA administrator a while back. And I remember, in fact, my niece and nephew came down from New Jersey on a trip with their dad, who is a principal at a science school in New Jersey. And Charlie Kamada, who was an astronaut, just happened to be here that day. And I remember they got to meet him. So, yeah.
Yeah. Over the years you have?
Over the years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To me, it's very interesting that you're doing that for 23 years. And at some point along the way, you explored doing comedy in 2016 and you went to the Virginia Beach Funny Bone Comedy School. What prompted you to do comedy in the first place?
I've always been a comedy fan since I was sneaking up to stay late to watch Johnny Carson monologues, because that was, to me, was the best part of his show. Until, just watching Saturday Night Live since I was 14 or 15 I remember George Carlin being the first guest. I've been watching Saturday Night Live the whole 40 some years it's been on TV. I love that show. So I've always been a comedy fan. Love George Carlin. Love Richard Pryor. Grew up listening to all kind of records that my grandmother used to have, and just always liked to laugh. But particularly starting stand-up at Virginia Beach Comedy School, the Funny Bone, it was a result of a breakup, and I just was looking for something to do. But a year prior to 2016, I started taking improv classes at the Push Comedy Theater.
Okay. Who were some of your biggest comedy influences since you've been a comedy fan for 40 years? Who are some of your all-stars that you're like?
George Carlin is my favorite.
Yeah.
Because he always commented on the absurdities of society and politics and religion, which, are really good targets to focus on for sure.
Are there other greats that you liked that you saw on Johnny Carson that influenced you and your comedy style, do you think?
Johnny Carson himself, I used to love his sketches. And I remember watching Laugh-In. I used to like Laugh-In.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stuff like that. And Flip Wilson. Yeah. He had a great sketch show, and he did wonderful characters. Also, Richard Pryor had a variety show.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I have it on DVD.
That's great. Oh my gosh.
Yep. And a lot of people were on that show with him. Sarah Bernhardt was a cast member, Robin Williams, Marsha Warfield, Paul Mooney. All of them were on that show.
Oh, yeah. That's some really good comedy in our past and over the last 50 years. So it's really great. I love actually looking up old footage and old video from.
Oh, yeah. That stuff is good.
It is so good. When you started doing comedy, did you find that writing comedy came easy to you or not?
Well, the comedy class helped me, because you have all these ideas in your head, and you need to learn. I needed to learn how to write a joke. People think they're funny, but for me, I needed the formality of a class.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Because comedy is an art.
Yes.
And like acting is an art. Painting is an art. Yes. In order to get better at it, you need to learn something about it.
I agree.
And being able to write is the basis of comedy. And to me, unfortunately, when I hear some comics say, I don't write, I just go off the dome. I'm like, really? Yeah. You don't have a set? Do you know what a setup, premise, a punchline, a callback, alliteration? Do you know what any of those terms mean? You're just going off the dome?
The dome.
A lot of people think comedians just make up stuff as they go, which is improv, and that's a whole nother art form.
True.
That's not stand-up.
That's true. I remember when I took classes, I felt like I needed to do that too. Mainly because I was petrified.
I wasn't necessarily scared, but learning how to write does give you a framework and a format to kind of put your stuff in. Now, you may not follow it again. You may write on the back of a napkin or whatever, but at least you're writing.
I agree. And what I was going to say to that point, people think that they just, funny people go up there and they're just saying a whole stand-up comedy set that slays just off the cuff.
They the word material means absolutely nothing to some people.
Exactly. And I really didn't know that till I took the class. That was one of the things our instructor pointed out early on, was how, especially if you're going to be on a TV or doing a TV special, you're handing the script to the producers because they want to know what's going to be said on their channel and all how, what the craft was and how to develop material and all of that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that makes perfect sense now that I'm learning it. And
Yes.
I had this vision in my head that was incorrect, that these talented, funny people just went up there and was talking to people and making them laugh, because they make it look so easy when they're so good,
That's right. But they're practiced, rehearsed, and they're well written.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's really great. I love that. I'm actually wondering, as I'm thinking about this, Donna, if you're like me when it comes to writing, where you like to have some snacks nearby.
I don't need writing to have snacks. So I love a snack.
I'm a snacker too. And you know what? My go-to lately when I'm writing and just for snacking has been pre-popcorn. Oh my God.
Say that with your mouth full of popcorn.
I know, right? Pre-popsters, gourmet popcorn. That's my go-to. In fact, right now, I'm munching on their maple-flavored corn kernel goodness.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know what? We sent you some, Donna.
Oh.
It's at your post office. You got to go pick it up.
That's probably where it is.
And I'm going to tell you, you got maple. We sent you the maple flavor.
Maple? Who don't like popcorn? It tastes like pancakes.
It is. It's so good. And Donna, did you know that March is high tide for harvesting Virginia maple syrup? Did you know that?
I'm from Manhattan. I don't know nothing about harvesting.
We do a lot of
picking up maple syrup at the grocery store.
And you're going to be picking it up at the post office here pretty soon.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you, this preposterous maple flavored popcorn, Donna, it'll knock your socks off. In fact, I can't find mine right now.
Oh, okay. So I'm diabetic. If I eat a whole lot of maple, it'll knock more than my socks off. It might knock my feet off.
All right. Well, just minimize how much.
I'll practice portion control.
That's
like the nutritionist told me.
There you go. That's exactly the wording I was looking for. So thanks for that.
I'd like to keep my feet. Thank you.
I want you to keep your feet too, so you can make it back to the valley.
Yeah, I might need them, for the gas pedals and the brake pad.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to tell you what, Donna, I love that they make this flavor. Not only is it delicious, but it is an ode to the maple syrup orchards native to our region. So maybe we'll show you one. Maybe we'll show you around when you get here.
Yeah, I'm good. I want nothing to do with farming. Thank you very much. It sounds too much like outdoors work. And historically, that's not good for my people.
Fair enough. Laughers Preposterous is located right here in the Valley in Bridgewater, Virginia. And you can have a discount promo code, because we've got one for you, to buy some of this delicious popcorn. Just use promo code LAUGH15 when you visit preposterous.com. That's PREPOPSTEROUS.com. And get you some today.
Pop off, y'all. Pop off.
I love you, Donnie. You're so fun. You know what? It's been a while since you've been here. I'm so excited to have you come back. The last time you were in Harrisonburg performing was before the pandemic. I know. Can't believe it's been that long. When you won the World Series of Comedy one-night event, which was a sold-out event, and you did stand-up comedy in that competition, and you advanced to compete in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick, what is the World Series of Comedy for laughers that may not be familiar with it?
It's a nationwide comedy festival and I guess competition that they have in several cities around the country. They have these one day events, and the people that win the one day event go to a like main event. It used to be in Las Vegas. I'm not sure where the main event is now. And they compete for, I think, a cash prize.
Mm-hmm.
And I competed, went to Boston for that one day event. And actually, it was kind of interesting because I kind of married my comedy and my NASA career, because the people on the Tempo or the Tempo project that I'm on right now,
mm-hmm.
the people that have collected data once the instrument is in space are at Harvard.
Oh,
At the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory.
Okay.
And so I'm probably the only comedian in history that had a table of astrophysicists at her comedy show.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah, I had 6 astrophysicists at my show.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's probably history making right there.
Mm-hmm. And some of them had never been to a comedy show. Because that's something they don't do.
No.
But the principal investigator and the lead scientist, and they came to my show because it was in Boston, and of course Harvard is in Boston.
I love it that we had NASA representation there to watch you. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Yeah, the Court Square Theater, that was a pretty awesome experience. What was that experience like for you?
It was fun. The first time I got a standing ovation. I couldn't believe that.
You did. It was fantastic.
I was like, wow, that is some kind of out of body experience.
Yeah. We had a good time with you. We're so glad that you came down. You've performed so many places, been in a lot of comedy clubs and festivals across the country. I know. What are some of your favorites and why?
They're all different in different ways. Oh man, they're all so different.
Yeah.
Because I love performing in all the places in New York, but I got to go when I was at Big Pine Comedy Festival in San Diego. I got to visit their brand new mic drop comedy. That was fun. I was in Atlanta at the Uptown Comedy Club and the Atlanta Comedy Club when I did a different festival there. I don't know. They're all different.
Mm. What's your favorite city you've performed in? You can't say Manhattan. We know that.
Well, I love New Orleans. That place was fun.
Yes.
I was on a festival called Black Girl Giggles twice. And New Orleans is just a fun city. And to be able to do comedy while I was there just made it even more fun.
Yeah, I will agree with that. My son played for the New Orleans Saints, as you know. Mm-hmm. And so I've been down to New Orleans, and it's a lot of fun.
And they have a vibrant comedy scene and a lot of shows going on, and met some really great people through the festival there. And New Orleans is probably one of the most fun places I've been to do comedy because the city is just so much fun.
It is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. You are one of our comics that works both blue and clean. So laughers may not be familiar with X2 Comedy's brand. We're basically cleanest shows. And that's because we work with comedians that work clean exclusively. And we also work with comedians like Donna who work blue, but agree to do a clean set. And honestly, because of our blue comics, we're clean shows. We can do 100% clean for sure. And they're able to do that with us as well. But a typical show is cleanish because of that reason.
Heavy on the ish.
Heavy on the ish. We just did 100% PG last night, but yes, an average, none of them are average. So are all wonderful because of comedians like you. And I am wondering, Donna, because you do both, do you find it easy to transition between clean and blue humor?
Not really, because if,
I find it easy to transition. You do it. I may not have said it right. I said, do you find it easy? Yeah.
Because I do both. I think when I write my jokes, they can be done both ways. If you take out certain words, or if you have enough, foundation to go in and just scrub. I can scrub my own content.
Yeah. So you just adapt it for the needs.
I just adapted. I did a 60th birthday party last night, and the crowd was mixed. It was kids there. The content was still adult, but it was scrubbed of, cursing and suggestive words in my mind. And, I had a few people do this, but I didn't cuss.
Okay, so for those of you who are listening to this audio version, she just covered her eyes just there. So some of the people covered their eyes. Yeah, this is what she was showing us. It sounded like it was a lot of fun though last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 60th birthday party. Do you do birthday party shows a lot?
Not a lot, but if somebody wants a comedian for a birthday party, I'll do it.
Okay,
and I've done corporate events as well, and those things have to be clean.
Yes. Yeah, you're not sure, and the audience is a little bit different, and then they keep it clean usually for the corporate events.
And you talk about topical things. That's why I like to keep things like news apps on my phone, so I can just talk about things that are going on currently that would resonate with most audiences.
Mm-hmm. When you do birthday parties and things like that, do you do any talking with the family to create specific material for the birthday person? Or
this particular instance, I think because I'm over 60 as well, I had plenty of stuff to talk about. So it wasn't tailored necessarily to her specifically, but because they just turned 60, I just turned 62. So I had plenty to talk about, because I do talk about aging a lot, because I'm experiencing it every day as I go. So, yeah.
Yeah. Very relatable to the audience that you were serving last night. That's awesome.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you also do improv too, as we talked about a little bit earlier. I'd like to talk about that more. I understand that in 2018, you founded the only all POC, that's people of color, sketch and improv group. It's called Lemon Paper and Saison Comedy. I hope I said that right.
Lemon Pepper.
Thank you.
Saison Comedy.
Thank you. And what is saison? I don't even know what saison is.
Actually, it's a Spanish spice.
Oh, okay.
And because we had we had different names that we voted on, but we ended up with, I don't know how we got on food, but Black folks love some lemon pepper wings, and sazon is a Spanish seasoning. So we just put them together. But since then, we could have added curry and what else? I don't know what else. Let me see. I don't know what a Vietnamese or a Filipino seasoning is, but we have those representation in our group as well.
Okay, that's good. And what prompted you to get this group started?
Well, I mean, when I started improv in 2015, it wasn't many Black folks in the theater that I was attending. And so as I started learning more and more about improv, and then I started looking at classes at places like the Upright Citizens Brigade, which is in New York and California. That's a world famous improv school, Second City, Improv Olympics, of Groundlings, all places like that. I saw that Second City and UCB had diversity scholarships and diversity programs and things like that. And I wanted something like that at our theater. But to start the group, there was a hip hop improv group that came to Virginia Beach, and I don't know how I found it, but I went to go see them. And that was the first time I saw Black and Spanish people doing improv together from that kind of perspective. And so it really drew me in, and I got to meet the people in the group, and come to find out some of them were New York DJs. And in fact, one of the people that was in the group ended up being a writer on Trevor Noah, and now she's starring on American Auto right now on NBC.
Wow, that's great.
So that's how what improv did for them. And so when I saw that, I said, I got to get a group together like that so we can express our own culture through improv and sketch. And so it was really fun to watch them. And so from that, I started Lemon Pepper and Sazon. We started off as 6 Black women, but as the years progressed, other folks of color in the theater wanted to join because they wanted to express their own cultures through improv. And so it's morphed into having Spanish folks and Asian folks, and, you know, and certainly they started off as Black folks. So we have some of all of that. So we try to be representative of that.
Is that the only group like that in the Hampton area right now?
Yes.
Okay. So very good.
So if there's another one, then number 2.
I love it. Okay. I like that. And you also, speaking of diversity, continued that by founding providing opportunities for that. You founded the Push Diversity Council Diversity Scholarship. You produce and host monthly diversity improv jam. Can you tell us more about the scholarship, the jam, and what you envision for them?
Well, with the help with the founders of the theater, Push Comedy Theater, shout out to Brad McMurrin and Sean Devereaux, the pushers of the Push Comedy Theater. After, unfortunately, George Floyd was taken from us in 2020, a lot of talk, it filtered down into the improv world because it started to come out in some of the theaters that, you know, diversity wasn't being, you know, it wasn't having a light shined on it. So I had been wanting to do something like this at the theater after seeing places like UCB and Second City had whole diversity programs, but our little theater here in Norfolk, Virginia did not. And so that George Floyd incident prompted the discussion further into creating this. And so after having a few meetings, because I didn't do it by myself, with the help of the owners of the theater and the people from Lemon Pepper and Sazon, we had discussions and we had the framework of starting a council and had a statement of principles and a vision mission statement. And so we just gone from there. And so one of the things we want to do is have a council, have a diversity scholarship to offer to people of color, women, folks over 40, teens, minority teens. And so we LGBTQ community. So we wanted to just have that kind of outreach by bringing in, you know, a more diverse improvisers into the theater, which would bring more diverse audiences into the theater. And the third part of that is to have a monthly diversity jam where those particular demographic groups can have their own show and be seen and bring in their own audiences, you know, just to make the improv and the sketch a little more diverse and inclusive of everybody. So like in the last 2 years since we founded the council and started the jams and the scholarships, you know, we've been able to have a Juneteenth show in June or a Pride show in June, a focus on AAPI in May. We had a huge Black History Month show last month that was sold out. We did sketches and improv. We had 2 Black stand-up comics come and join us. We also try to, Hispanic Heritage Month back in September and Indigenous People Month in October. So we just try to, November. And so we just try to have shows be more diverse. Like this month is women. It's an all women's cast, and we're doing all women's Women's History Month show this month. So yeah.
That's really great.
I think otherwise those shows weren't happening before we did this. And so they're happening now. And so it's really good.
What kind of marketing do you do to reach out to the diverse community that you found is really impactful and has been working?
Well, I mean, the folks in my group, as well as the folks on the Diversity Council, do a good job with just we try to bring people in when we do the jams.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we have, QR codes around the theater. So if people want to know more about the Diversity Jam or Council and the scholarships, they can just scan. And we send out emails every month to our mailing list that's growing, just to let folks know when the jams are coming up and about the scholarship if they want to apply and things like that.
And what does the scholarship do? Does it pay for classes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
So what would be like a typical scholarship package? So they would
Well, I mean, we try to bring people in by having them take Improv 101.
Okay.
And then go from there and sketch if they're interested in sketch comedy. Because Push Comedy Theater teaches they do teach stand-up, but we feel like there's plenty of representation of POC and everybody else in stand-up. Mm-hmm. The lack seems to be, in my opinion, in improv.
Yes.
Especially. And then, and to have people take sketch classes because they learn how to write a sketch. To me, it's the foundation for everything, because if you know how to write a good sketch, you can put together a TV packet or a screenplay or something. So you need to know how to write.
I agree. Yeah. What does the Improv 101 class look like at the Push Theater?
It's 6 weeks of learning how to yes and not negate and just the basic things of improv.
Okay.
They learn how to, just learn how to do improv.
That's good. And you write sketches too, right?
Sure do.
Okay. And you're writing them for these programs that you're involved in. Well.
Like for instance, the Black History Month show, I wrote a ridiculous sketch. As historically, we know J. Edgar Hoover, who was the director of the FBI forever, hated Martin Luther King, and he wiretapped him. And so basically, I wrote a sketch where Martin Luther King and J. Edgar Hoover was in an episode of Cheaters with Coretta Scott King and Rosa Parks.
Wow. How did that go over?
Went over great.
Okay.
Because it was historically accurate.
Oh, my goodness. The audience was really enjoying it.
Yes.
Okay. What are some of the other favorite sketches you've ever written? I wrote something early in the last administration. I wrote The Real Housewives of the White House. Okay. A lot of my sketches seem to have some kind of political or bent. So I wrote The Real Housewives of the White House. I wrote something called a Stay Woke Cafe. Yeah. I wrote something. I wrote another sketch. A remedial math sketch where some of the insurrectionists had to go to math school. Okay. Because they got caught at the insurrection. And so that was ridiculousness ensued after that. I see. Your stand-up doesn't have a lot of, I don't think it has a lot of political reference in it.
Sometimes. Depends
okay.
on what I'm thinking about or what hits me a certain way. But I've written sketches like that, it seems.
Okay. You do all three. You do stand-up, you do improv, you do sketch, and you're in all those different forms of comedy. Do you have a preference over any of those? Do you love or favor any of those art forms?
It's like having 3 different kids.
Okay. Tell me more.
You love them all equally,
Yeah.
But you also don't love them the same.
Okay. What do you love about each of them?
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
Stand-up is the child that likes to be alone.
Okay.
They do things by themselves.
Yep.
They like to play alone. They talk to themselves. They do things by themselves.
Right.
But, they need to, in a sense, they want to know what's going to happen before they do it.
Mm.
Now, the improv child, they're spontaneous.
Yes.
They don't know what's going to happen.
No.
But they also work, they work kind of well with other people. They need other people.
Yeah.
That child needs to work with other people. They don't like being alone.
Right.
And the sketch child, they not only do they know what's going to happen up front, they also work with other people as well.
Right.
So
like a combo.
Yeah. It's a combo.
Yeah. That's really great. Not a lot of stand-ups do all three, but you do. Yeah.
It makes me even more diverse, and because I'm over 60, I have a wealth of experiences that add to all of that.
Yes, you do indeed. I think that's a great note to wrap this up with. How can the Laughers best follow you on social media or otherwise to learn more about comedian Donna Lewis? Well,
if you search on Instagram or Facebook, my TikTok is broken because I don't know. I broke my talk some kind of way. I don't know. And I ain't tried to figure it out no more. Just look up comedian Donna Lewis on Instagram or Facebook and I'll come up.
Excellent. Laughers, we'll be sure to link some. We'll find that too for you. And don't worry about it if you're driving or working out. Please don't, because we'll put those links for you in the show notes as well, where you can grab them. Plus, there we will also have that discount promo code LAUGH15 with preposterous.com's web link. So you can buy that delicious gourmet popcorn. That maple flavor is really good. And again, we'll put their link in the show notes for you as well. And thank you so much, Donna, for joining us today. This has been super fun. I always love hanging out with you. It's one of my favorites. We're so excited to have you back here in the Valley really soon. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Have my room ready.
I will. I was actually just looking at it before I came in the studio today. I was like, she's going to be here in a little bit. It's going to be fun. Laughers, you can see Donna perform live. Check this out. April 15th in the second season of the X2 comedy series. Well, she will return to the stage at Court Square Theater in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Plus, you will not want to miss this hilarious lineup that includes 3 local comedians, including myself, Chris Womack, who is JMU's funny professor, and local funny fave, Jay Zare. Plus, again, Donna Lewis will be there, and our headliner, Melissa Dowdy, a national touring comedian based out of Salem, Virginia, whose unique, authentic style delights fans of all ages. Laughers, this lineup is all Virginia-based comedians, so do not miss this spring show. We cannot wait. We will be sure to put the links for you to buy tickets in the show notes for you also, so you can join all the fun. Don't miss out and buy those tickets today. And lastly, and most importantly, thanks for tuning in, Laughers. Out of all the podcasts out there, you picked us, and we think that's pretty darn special, just like you. Until next time, keep smiling. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Virginia is for Laughers podcast, brought to you by X2 Comedy. We'll be dropping a new podcast every Wednesday, so check back for another uplifting episode. Come to an X2 Comedy show or let us bring one to you. To find out more, head to x2comedy.com. Be sure to share this podcast with a friend, and until next time, cheers.